Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, the past 48 hours, the nation has been having a conversation with regard to the announcement that was made by the U.S. Embassy of cutting aid to Zambia. So this was reported in the mass newspaper. It says U.S. refuses to fund thieves. American government cuts 1.4 billion kwacha, which is $50 million US, in aid to the Ministry of Health for gross theft and fraud. So that's the conversation that's been dominating the nation for a while, which prompted the ministers of government pretty much to respond. So there was a press brief after the U.S. ambassador addressed the nation, and he put up statistics of how much the U.S. embassy, or pretty much the American people, are going to cut in aid. So that was a response that came from government. So according to the news diggers, government warns diplomats after Gonzalez's speech, don't interfere in our internal affairs. That's according to an extract from that press brief that was hosted, which was also streamed by the Ministry of Information and Media. So, which was addressed by Minister of Home Affairs and Interior Security, Jack Mwimbu, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Malambo Ahimbe, and also Elijah Muchima, Minister of Health there. So it was a press brief addressed by three ministries pretty much, and some of the highlights, I'll tabulate them for you. What is the Daily Nation says? Theft and corruption, U.S. punishes Zambia, pretty much the same headline with regard to the cutting of aid. So some of the highlights which were pointed out by the Minister of Information. So today, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, Foreign Affairs and in International Corporations, Honorable Malambo Ahimbe, and Minister of Health Elijah Muchima held a joint press briefing with regarding the forensic audit and the theft of medicines, medical supplies in public health facilities. And here are the highlights, and then they go ahead to highlight according to what Jack Mwimbu said. So government through the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security has so far raided 104 facilities, leading to the arrest of 75 individuals and various offenses under the Medicine and Allied Substances Act and the Penal Code, which was quoted. So that's a highlight that came from Jack Mwimbu. And then also Mulamba Ahimbe also said a call for the use of formal diplomatic channels in communicating with the public, reiterated that government values the partnership with cooperating partners. So pretty much those are some of the highlights from that press brief that was hosted by government. And then Lungu demands a corruption probe. And then pretty much the former head of state has issued a statement with regard to the same and ongoing. So this is a statement which Daily Nation is quoting from Edgar Lungu, where he's addressing the nation on his Facebook page. So the former head of state, some of the comments are there. I'll read them later on. Let me read the statement first. So fellow countrymen and women and youth, over the past few days, our country has been plunged into uncertainty following the operations and subsequent action taken by the United States government through its ambassador, His Excellency Michael Gonzalez, regarding the termination of aid to Zambia and Zambia's health sector through revelations. And these revelations make a very sad reading. Today, Zambia's health sector faces numerous challenges in combating the high prevalence of HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, And the decision by the US government serves as a damning indictment, a reminder that the goodwill of our cooperating partners must never be taken for granted or abused. From the days of UNIP through MMD and then to us, the Patriotic Front (PF), both under the leadership of our founding father and the late President Michael Chilufya-Sata, and subsequent under my leadership, we prioritize strong cooperations with the United States and other partners through programs such as PEPFAR and the Global Fund. We confronted the HIV and AIDS pandemic with the seriousness it deserved. This collaboration saw millions of our people living with HIV across access life-saving ARV drugs that saved lives and significantly improved the quality of life of our people. While tuberculosis remains a major public health challenge, our partnership with donors led to the establishment of the Center of Excellency for Infectious Diseases and implementation of the test and treat approach, a powerful tool in prevention and control. Our robust fight against malaria, which is very high among young children, pregnant women, and the immunization brought to us brought to a verge of malaria elimination phase. Further, as part of our decentralization strategy, we established Zambia's Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, which has been in the news recently, to streamline the procurement and distribution of essential medicines and medical supplies across the country. Fellow Zambians, no government is without fault, but the key in all our efforts was to keep keen eye on the levels of corruption in the supply chain system of all drugs. Otherwise, we would not have achieved the policy and implementation targets I have outlined. He says what they had achieved. In contrast, shocking scale of theft and corruption, as highlighted by Ambassador Gonzalez, is a slap in the face of every Zambian because it is the ordinary citizen who will now suffer due to the potential drug shortage. This aid withdrawal will cause, as they say, as the saying goes, if you are not affected, if you are not infected, you are affected. And then he goes further now. Let me address. Let me find where he addresses the sitting head of state. Let's see, did I get that? Oh, I must have skipped it. But anyway, the statement goes further to address the current head of state. And some of the things you say advises his successor, President Hakainde Hichilema, to take responsibility for the present corruption, looting, and theft of life-saving medicine instead of blaming all past governments apart from himself, and warns the medical aid cut would soon turn into catastrophic. That's Edgar Lungu. So pretty much he's saying to Hakainde Hichilema, own up to some of the responsibilities, because there's been a debate to say, no, these things are happening in the PF. And then Edgar Lungu says, no, they check the date stamps on the allegations of missing of those medicine. He says it has nothing to do with the Patriotic Front at this point. The current government should just own up to their own set. And this Nancy Mwitwa responds to Edgar Lungu's statement. She says, ngati simakada vanhu ngati brutality ngati bonse hivi kulibe. Sometimes I blame you more. So she says, I did not be in the cadre system in the Patriotic Front under Edgar Lungu's tenure. Probably they would still be in government. And then she goes further to say, we just landed ourselves in problems of our current government, she says there. And what else is? And then President Hakainde Hichilema says leadership is hard, according to the news diggers in a statement where he was addressing a press brief somewhere. So that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on.